Hello everyone, and welcome to a very different Minecraft Let's Play type thing, I suppose. The audio is not coming through the right bloody speaker, so I'm trying to fix it quickly before anything goes wrong. But basically, I wanted to do a little Minecraft playthrough where I start off and spend 1 or 2 days just getting the essentials built. So, house and so on. And I also wanted to explore a bit and maybe just see what I can find. And what ended up happening was a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty cool little journey. Starting with this here. And we start off in this cool plains area with some of the acacia trees and stuff. But I very quickly noticed this really peculiar land structure, or land formation, that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. But it exists, and you can see all the little desert rabbits here. But yeah, this thing just is there. And what you'll come to notice is around this region, there's a ton of areas like this. There's a ton of these random spiky structures or even floating islands in the sky, in the mountains and so on. And I've seen these before, the odd time like you'll see something go a bit wrong, but I've never seen it look like it belonged. Because if you look at it now, and then look at this, like I'm playing with shaders and a texture pack, but this whole area is absolutely gorgeous. And shortly after we visited there, just back near the starting area, I decided I would collect some sand, just so we could make some glass later on in case it was a while until I found another beach or another desert, so I'm not stuck looking for sand. Because it's happened to me a few times and I've been left windowless in my house until I found sand. And I never really like destroying the sand in the ponds, because it always kind of adds something more to the ponds color-wise. But I collected a good bit just so I'd be stocked for a while in case I needed to, add some windows to my house and so on. But we ended up finding some coal shortly after that, and not too much, but a decent amount of coal. I did very little mining in this video, and this was actually an hour-long recording that I did, and I've also included some keyboard and mouse sounds in the background of this. I'll do it subtly though, because I don't know whether or not people will like it too much, so I might make 2 versions of this video just to give people options on what they would prefer to watch. But I ended up exploring more of this area here, and it is really pretty. Like, it's incredibly pretty. And I know the texture packs, I suppose the texture pack and the shader pack is doing a lot of the work. But even still, like, in normal Minecraft, this would still be incredibly pretty. There's waterfalls everywhere, there's little platforms with more trees growing on them. It's just a really pretty little area, and I actually intend on coming back here and maybe building something here, because this isn't where I end up setting up my house. And I do want to come back, and I do want to see if there's anything cool I can build there or do here, because it would be a waste to just never come back here again. So this is the first time we're here in this journey anyway, but we will return some other time. And right now I decided I would take a shortcut and I'd cut my way up to the mountain, but unfortunately this did not work out well for me, because what ended up happening was the mountain has a big hole in the middle of it and I was on the wrong side. So I was planning on getting up there, and well, that's another mountain. So I was quite disappointed. Scaled, you can see me looking up into the sky there at frustration because I knew I just spent that long getting up there and then I couldn't even get across. But I quickly abandoned my mission of scaling that because in a moment we're going to find something pretty cool, or we're going to spot something pretty cool. And I chose to do this video this way mainly because I wanted to be able to talk a bit more and not be as focused on the gameplay and just worrying about talking every now and then, because I've tried this before in the past and I really feel like this is the better option for me, at least. It's what I'm more comfortable doing. And there you can see in the distance we have a little desert temple, and I'm gonna have to leave these poor cows behind and venture off and see what exactly this desert temple has to offer us. I've always liked the structures in Minecraft, but I do wish they would maybe, I don't know, renovate them a bit, because I feel like stuff like desert temples could be incredibly cool given a bit more work, because really all they are is just a treasure chest pretty much. If you haven't played Minecraft before, I'd be surprised if you haven't, but basically under this pattern you dig down, but you don't dig in the middle because of the big drop. And at the bottom of this big drop is a what's it called? A pressure plate. As you can see there, that's a stone pressure plate. So even if a block fell down there, it would not trigger the stone pressure plate because it needs more weight to trigger it. So if you were to jump the whole way down, land on that, you trigger the 9 TNT under the sandstone. But we're not going to do that. We are going to get all the treasure and all the diamonds. And I was very happy when I got the diamonds. And we picked up everything there. We got some horse armor and a saddle, and I started back out on my journey. We also harvested all the TNT. But I decided I wanted to head off in that direction and see what I could find. The shaders look really, really nice at night, very moody and like almost spooky at times. But I feel like the water really complements it. Like the water just looks really, really pretty at night. And I found this shader pack not to be really invasive, because I've found with a lot of Minecraft shader packs, they go too far in one direction and they just almost take over the game a bit, and the game just becomes incredibly visually intense, and I don't think that's what Minecraft should be. But I feel like this is the right mix where it's just at that right point. I do think the new ray tracing stuff is pretty cool though, because I think it's well done. But a lot of the shader packs, they focus a lot more on like really intense lens flares and stuff like that, and it just becomes just quite annoying when you're trying to look and you can't see anything because of the sun. But this one's really nice. The one thing I love about shader packs is the torches. You can actually hold them in your hand and they illuminate the area around you. But we found this little village here, and for some reason this villager and several others that I'm going to meet later on, they just don't want to communicate for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why. He just does this like little head bobby thing and ignores me. But we went to sleep and I decided I would venture out and explore the village. And just after I cleaned the weeds off the roof of my temporary house, see a little cat there walking around and some more cows. Here we have another one of these villagers. I believe this one is the same. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to me. Not very sociable. But this village has a lot of stuff. A good bit of farming. and unfortunately did not have a blacksmith, so I couldn't get any supplies out of there. But for what it did have, it was pretty good. And I'm about to get something pretty cool now in a moment that's going to make future videos of this if I end up making them, if people enjoy this. It's going to make future videos much easier to make. I apologize if you're a fan of sheep. I need to make a bed. And I believe these guys were added pretty recently in one of the latest updates. And I'm not entirely sure what their purpose is, but they do look really nice just flying around. And I'm glad that they don't aggro on you for no reason. I believe if you attack them, they do. But this guy here, I was trying my best to get him tamed and finally did it. I had to cut out like a minute worth of me trying to get him to calm down. But yeah, we have a horse here now. I'm gonna call the horse Epona, after the horse from Breath of the Wild, but from the Legend of Zelda series. And I just started off basically looking for some supplies, and for some reason this house that I start building soon took me 20 times longer than any house I would build of that scale. I genuinely don't know why it took me as long as it did, but it just took me incredibly long to build this house. And I think it was mainly because I was using logs, as you can see, to build the house. And I was using 3 different types of wood. So I was using wooden logs, or oak wood logs on the outside of the house. And I end up using acacia as well to complement it. And let's just kind of give a bit of variation in between, because they look similar enough. It's just this acacia is slightly grayer, so I thought it'd be kind of a cool contrast and make it look more like a log cabin instead of just a big tree, pretty much, because it would just look like a big tree stump if I didn't vary it out a bit. But I also used birch for the flooring and the roof. I think it was birch I used for the roof. But I wanted to kind of do something like this and then keep the corners as oak wood, just to kind of have that be like the main structure of it, and the sides are the contrasting ones. But acacia wood's one of the ones that I never really use, so I did want to try it out this time. I'm not particularly fond of it in terms of the planks. I just don't think it looks as nice as the other wood. But this dude randomly showed up to me. Didn't see him coming at all, so I was quite surprised when he showed up. His deals are okay. The one I was looking at the most was the jungle sapling, and the llamas are quite loud, so I decided to leave them because they were kind of defeating the purpose of my video. He did decide to stick around though. He's actually still over there in the distance, and hopefully maybe next time he's still there I might be able to buy some stuff off him if I get the emeralds. But I'm currently pondering what I'm going to do with the design of my house. I don't know exactly what to think of the design I ended up going with, but I'm pretty happy with it. I decided to do the top and bottom corners like the logs were coming out of them. And physically I don't know if this makes sense because I don't know how one log would be going through the other, but I might try and vary it and see if I can come up with a better solution for it. But right now we're just building the ceiling, and I think this is the birch wood as far as I know. I've been trying my best to kind of vary my my builds every time I play Minecraft for the first time in a while, because I have a very bad habit of building an oak house and just having it be a plain square and then just making it a bigger, weirder shape over the course of time, and it just looks ugly. So I do want to try and make more unique houses now and just experiment with stuff and be more creative, because that's kind of the point of this game. So at this point I could really kind of do anything. This could end up being the front porch or the front entrance of a grand mansion. Or I can end up making it into a bit of a bigger cottage. I don't know, you never know what kind of way you go with it. Clearing out all the dirt in here now. Still have to put the slabs up top, but I think I have it done by now. And now I begin work on the fireplace. Had to make something looking cool. I wanted to make something cool. So I decided to make something that would make it feel a bit homey and a bit warm and cozy. You can always see me moving randomly, or it's almost as if I'm somehow translating myself, like tilted my head or something, trying to get an idea as to what I'm doing in the game. Like I do it in all games for some reason. It's just a habit, and it's almost like I'm trying to get the emotion across with the character, and that you would do with yourself, I suppose, in real life. But I decided to install a little chimney here. I actually think it came out pretty well. Looks quite nice. I don't know if I'm gonna make it higher, but I think it's the right height anyway. If I do make it higher, I might just make it one block. But that's me being very proud of my new chimney. And we don't have too much left to do, but what I wanted to do lastly was to build a little home for my new friend. And just to make sure that they don't end up wandering off and get lost, because that happens a lot with horses, and I don't want that to happen with mine. And especially with the game nowadays, I've noticed that the horses can disappear sometimes, like randomly, even when you just get off them. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen here. But yeah, that's the finished house, and the big mountain in the background. I believe that's the opposite side of the starting area. I might be wrong though. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more like this, be sure to let me know. And I will see you all next time. Bye.